Hello, geometry students. So far in our classroom, we have been studying right triangle trigonometry. We have to have a right angle, and then we would use sine, cosine, or tangent to find either the side or the angle. Today, we're going to start looking at triangles that don't have right angles. And in that situation, we are going to use the law of sines or the law of cosines. Today, we're going to focus on the law of sines. Take a look at the triangle that you've been given. I'm going to show you how we come up with the law of sines. I'm going to look at the triangle on the left-hand side. I have angle A. Since this is law of sines, I'm going to be talking about sine. So I'm going to write down sine of A. Sine of A would be opposite. So the opposite of A is the height of the triangle. And I need the hypotenuse, which is C. Now I'm going to look at the triangle on the right-hand side, and I'm going to work with the angle C. And again, this is law of sines, so I'm going to go sine of C. I need to go opposite of C, so again, the height of the triangle, and my hypotenuse of that triangle is A. Now I'm noticing that both of them have an H in them, so I'm going to isolate the H in both of those. I'm going to multiply by C, multiply by C. I get sine of A times C equals the H. Multiply by A, multiply by A. A times the sine of C equals the H. Now, since they both equal H, I'm going to do a substitution and set them equal to each other. So I'm going C times the sine of A equals A times the sine of C. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to divide by C. That way the C's cancel each other out. So now I get sine A equals A sine C over C. I'm going to get that A under the other side, so I'm going to divide by A. I'm going to divide by A. A's cancel. So now I have the sine of A over A equals the sine of C over C. So this actually is the law of sines then. When you take the sine of an angle, you put it over the side that is opposite it. And that will be equal to the sine of another angle and the side opposite. Remember here, people, if I draw a triangle, I have angle A, angle B, angle C. So little a is going to be across from angle A. So I'm talking about the sine of angle A is going to be over side A is what I'm saying here. And then same thing here with C. I'm taking angle C, sine of angle C, over the side opposite of it, which would be little c. So that's the law of sines. So we have down below, you can do it for either angle. Sine of angle A over the side opposite, which is little a, will equal sine of angle B over the side opposite, which will be little b. And if you need to work with angle C, then you can use sine of C, angle C, with the side opposite, which would be little c. So you can use any two combinations is what you can do, people. Let's take a look at our problems. It says, find the missing measure, round to the nearest degree, and sides to the tenths. All right. Law of sines. You need an angle and a side opposite to do this. And I'm going to write it up here. Sine of A over A is sine of B over B, and sine of C, oopsie, B here, over C. So let's take a look at number 1. Do we have an angle and a side opposite relationship going right now? What I mean by that is I look at 40, that's an angle. I have the side opposite. I'm looking at 80. I am looking for the side opposite. So I do have the angle side opposite relationship going. So I'm going to take my sine of 80. Underneath it goes the side opposite, which is x. I'm setting up a proportion, equals my other angle is 40. So I'm going to go sine 40 and then take the side opposite, which is 12. At this point, you're going to cross multiply. So I'm going to go x times sine 40 equals 12 times sine 80. Your goal is to get x alone. Here's my x. So I need to move my sine 40, and people, you need to show this algebra. Please do not skip steps. Now, these cancel each other out. X equals 12 sine 80 over sine 40. Now, pause the video and type this into your calculator, guys. Take 12 times sine 80. You probably need to close the parentheses. You know, a lot of times your calculators will give you a parentheses. You type 80, close it because that's the end of the angle. Then hit divide, sine 40. Really take the time, pause the computer, and make sure that you're able to get this answer. The answer to this problem, we're looking at a side, so it's approximately, we should be using some squiggly lines for approximation, 18 and 4/10. Number 2 is similar to number 1. I am going to give you the answer if you want to try that on your own. Go ahead, but I'm going to just give you the answer and continue moving on. Number 3. Okay, well, the only thing I know right now, this is not a right triangle, so I'm going to have to use the law of sines. And remember, I need an angle and a side opposite relationship. If I want to use the law of sines. Okay, I'm happy about this because 46 and 18 are going to go together. So I write sine of 46 and the side opposite is 18. Now, I'm looking at 17 and I'm going, oh, well, there's nothing over there. And you don't really care about that side over there, guys. You don't need to find that. We need to find x. That's a side. We really need angle A. So we need to find angle A by taking 180 minus the 46 and then minus 17. That's going to get me the measure of angle A. And angle A ends up being 117 degrees. So sometimes it looks like you don't have that angle and side opposite relationship going, and you're going to have to find that angle using that 180 degrees. So now I have angle A, which is 117. I'm going to look for the side opposite of A, which is x. I'm going to cross multiply sine 46 times x equals 18 times sine 117. All right, go ahead and divide by sine 46 and sine 46. They cancel. X equals 18 sine 117 over sine 46. Now punch that in your calculator, people. Pause the video and see if you can get the right answer. And again, approximation, I should use those squiggles. Side, so I'm writing 7.3 down. I do have one more to do, people. So pause the video and you're going to have to draw this. Okay, people, we have that drawn. Do I have an angle and a side opposite relationship going here so I can use the law of sines? I do. 82 and 28 are opposite of each other. So I write sine 82 over 28 equals angle x and 24 are opposite. So this time I'm looking for the angle. So I write sine angle over 24. I'm going to cross multiply sine 82 times 24, 28 times sine x. Your goal is to get x alone, people. So you got to divide by 28. Your new equation, writing all this stuff down, people, in your homework. You need to have every step, all the algebra down. Sine of 82 times 24 all over 28. These are canceling on the right-hand side, so you get sine x. Okay, now at this point you need to get rid of the trig function sine here. So you've got to multiply by the inverse function, and we've been doing this with our right triangle trigonometry. On this whole side, people, that whole side needs sine inverse in front of it. So at this point, people, I'm going to move over to the side here. This is what I have. I have sine -1. I'm going right here, people. Then I have a huge parenthesis, sine 82 times 24 all over 28, and that equals x. So how do you punch that in on your calculator? Hit the sine inverse. A parenthesis will come up. Then you have sine 82. Now some of you type sine and then you type 82. Make sure you close your parentheses. Then hit times 24. And then divide by 28. Make sure you're testing this on your calculator, please, people, because you may not know how to punch this in. I've had people ask how they even punch the inverse in. I'm saying you're not testing it during the lesson then. Test this out so that when you come to class you can say, yes, Ms. Hefty, I know how to do this, or no, I don't. Take a minute, punch that in. That is an angle, so that angle is going to be approximately, the direction said round that to the nearest degree, so I'm writing 58 degrees down. So take a minute, try that. If you have problems and you're not getting that, that should be the first thing you ask during class tomorrow is, Ms. Hefty, I can't get that punched in my calculator, can you help me? All right, well, you guys have a great night. We're going to work on a worksheet tomorrow during class, and then we're going to learn law of cosines. Thank you.